Good evening, everybody. Today is going to be a little bit different than usual. I didn't want to do another lesson, but, I still want to do my Japanese practice, and I wanted to try a different format out that maybe if I like how it goes today, maybe it'll be the format that I keep it with for the coming weeks. So what I've been thinking is that I do want to do a little bit more than just Japanese. Oh, why can't I read that notification? Good evening, Reina. Oh, thank you for the follow, Mouth Duke, lurking quietly. That's fine. I always appreciate lurking. I always appreciate the lurkers. Let me just put my alert box up here so it doesn't get completely blinded out. Um, so, I was thinking that rather than just present my lessons as a lesson format, to save time for myself and to be able to do more than just a lesson per week, to sort of present them as studies, go through the book and talk about what I'm learning and share it all with you as I'm learning it. And then maybe after that, go into more things like this, like practices and fortune reading and all that kind of stuff. So that's what I was thinking about doing. So you can see I have Wanikani here. You can see I have the kanji here. And God, I think I put this off for about a month or so. So I have quite a lot to catch up with. But I just wanted to chat with everyone too, and just wanted to just hold the Wani crab, the alligator crab. Just wanted to, if anyone wanted to do fortune readings, to do some fortune readings. There's a lot of different things I want to practice, a lot of different things I want to do that I don't think I've been able to fit them in my schedule. So this first kanji we have here, I'm pretty sure this is Rei. Ah, we're off to a good start. It's been quite a while since I've done this. This is Ran, which, let's just get the translation here. Oh, this is Riot. Like in the Japanese game Daironto Smash Brothers Exu. Daironto is big battle, which is where the riot comes from. This one is, I see the leader radical here, and this is the character I believe for Walk. Been a while since I've seen this one. I'm gonna do my best, but it's been quite a long time, so we're gonna get a lot of these wrong probably. This isn't to wait, I don't think. Is this travel? Let's see what this one is. This is Junior follower. This is Cole, I believe. Oh, Toll. This is Toll, Junior or follower. All right, we'll get the next one. This is Ginza or Silver Seat. I believe it's a specific place in Japan. So we have Ginza here. And if we read the definition, the Silver Seat, it's a famous place in Tokyo, Ginza. Because we have here, this character here is silver, and this here is seat. I do believe Ginza is also, I've seen it on like cans before, so they like, certain things that come from Ginza are, that's just a place. Here we go again. This is Riot, as we saw, and the pronunciation was fun. So Ginza, as it's a place, that place doesn't change in between the Japanese reading and the English reading. This, I believe, is everyone? Min? No, I think I might have it backwards, upside down. Hold on. This is insect? Huh. Alright, this is insect. And this one I know. This is love. This is I. Love. It's a pretty iconic one. Oh, well, thank you for stopping by, Elixir. Glad to see that you popped in to say hi. Here we have Tomo. This is friend, and this is multiple. So actually, this is friends. This is a bit off. This probably means friend singularly. But what I think is interesting about the word tomodachi is that this is friend here. This character here means friend, but this is plural. So even though it's just tomo and dachi, tomodachi just means friend as opposed to friends. That sometimes throws me off. Here we have, I believe this is wash, and this is prepare. So I think this might just be a compound word for wash. Let's see. Yappari kanji no yari desu yo ne. Why am I forgetting that last kanji that you used? Good evening, pal. I hope you're doing well. This is not wash, it is polish, because the second kanji is practice, wash practice. I knew it had something to do with cleaning, but wash and practice, that's refinement. It makes sense, you know, you wanna improve yourself, you're washing your skills, you're refining your skills. Here, this is junior. We saw it already. I'm gonna try to at least yarikomi. Oh, speedrun? I'm trying to speedrun the kanji. That's what we're doing here, you know? It's been a while, but we got 217 to catch up with. And here this is senren. And like I said earlier, this is tomodachi. And this is ran. It's giving us all the ones we got wrong already. You know, we'll take that we got it wrong, but at least we got it eventually. This is kon. This was for insect. What I like is that even though it's 200 and something odd characters, they're not going to throw it all jumbled randomly. They usually keep it in about sets of 10, which is nice. So this is I. Oh, this is love. We want the meaning, not the reading. So one thing, it is awkward to like, sort of, love that, huh? This is insect. It is kind of awkward to just go onto stream and then immediately, having been very out of practice with kanji, just get it all wrong. But I think that's a big part about not just streaming, but like life in general, you know? It's okay to make mistakes, and I feel like it's something a lot of people want to avoid doing. But I feel like as long as you're giving an honest effort, I'm so good at this. How about a forbidden JLPT practice test? Maybe. I guess I do have a 75%. That is technically passing. I thought you were screaming at me, Val. This is... No, this isn't rock. This is... It's not boulder. I know it's not boulder. I'm gonna just throw something at it. Rock. No. This is young. This is waka. And this is goods. This whole means goods. You pass at 60%, so we'll survive. We'll survive as long as I keep on getting things right. This is goods or product. Oh, good. Singular good. And this is... Ooh, this is a classic one. No one ever recognizes this one as what this is. Everyone recognizes this one as the katakana version, or the hiragana version. Kawaii. Which is actually the characters of possible or passable and love. Which, I don't get why that's what cute is. Passable love. Seems like a kind of weird mixture of kanji. A weird mix of, like, characters to represent cute, but... I mean, at this point in the language, it doesn't seem like most people use moderately lovely. I guess that's cute, right? But I mean, sometimes there are things that are maji kawaii, which at that point it's not moderately anymore. But for the most part, we don't really see this as often as we see kawaii. And this is... I know this is hin, and this is mono, or butsu. But I know that this specific compound word has a strange reading. Hinu mono. No, it's not hin mono. It is shina mono. Shina. Because this also has the alternate reading of shina. That's, again, like one of the tricky things about Japanese is that those alternate readings really do just catch you off guard. Shina mono. But yeah, it's just... You know, you gotta be afraid of not, like, messing up. And, like, that's how I feel like about a lot of the games I've been playing recently, too, you know? And I think that's, like, how a lot of streamers are about it, too. Like, you know, being bad at video games has its own charm. And, I don't know, I try to be good at video games because, like, you know, I like doing all these challenge runs. But I think there's something to be said about, like, trying to do something that you know is probably way over your head. Like, trying to do really hard game challenges and then just completely beefing it. And that's what I'm doing here too, you know? You can see pretty much half of these words that I'm getting right on the second time they have that down arrow, meaning that I messed it up the first time. This is, though, yuyake. This is, I believe this is sunburn. Sunburn. Because this is evening, this is bake. As a relative once learned the hard way. Yikes, as they once learned, being good at video games is not a personality trait. Yes, it is not. And if that's the only thing that you can depend on, then find something else. Is this not sunburn? Sunset. I knew it had to do with the sun. I knew it had to do with sun, but not burning, but setting. I guess it makes sense because if it was like a sunburn, there'd probably be something not related to evening time here. Sunset makes more sense. Evening bake, so sunburn. Thank you for that contribution. This is, we said before, this one was refinement, the combination of polish and, or the combination of practice and wash. We get polish or refinement. And then this is, I know what this is. Like all of these ones that have this character here, this leader radical, these, like with the stick and then the two curves on top, I feel like a lot of these blend together in my head, which shows I've really been slacking here. So I think this is To? No, it's not. It is Toku, which is acquire. Yeah, they all so much blend together, especially when you have this many lessons. This one though, no miso. This one is gray matter. I know this one. And this one is, ooh, we talked about this one actually in our lesson. You guys know, we have a tree here. And this is yobi, or weekday. So the tree weekday is mokuyobi, which is Thursday. And then here we have, this is transmit, and this is plural. Is it dentatsu? Ooh, thank you. 75% of the way there. I've been practicing a lot for that too, the ukulele stream. Excited for when we finally hit that. You will have it, and I will have quite a set list prepared. Then, oh, you have 4K left. Well, I know what to expect in the next few streams. Dentatsu. Atarishimi. Yeah, you're looking forward to it? I'm looking forward to it too. I've been looking up a lot of different songs to play. I've been like expanding my repertoire. It's gonna be majorly scuffed because I still have a lot of trouble switching from chord to chord, but I think I'll be able to play something passable, or a set list of passable songs. Some ones that'll probably be expected of a ukulele stream, and some maybe obscure songs, or like not as obvious. This is Steam. Steam car or Steam train. Steam car. Yeah, we'll have that soul. It'll be very soulful. Steam train. Why did I say car? I said train first. I knew it was it. This is Keisha. And this is Kusa. Would it be possible to request? Oh yeah, I think once I hit the meeting, the requirement for that, I might have people request songs for that stream. But that is something I could definitely do. I am familiar with the song, so I would just need to learn the chords. This is to write. This is writing, and this is type. Is this document? Ah, oh, my brain is so big. I got that one first try. Like we said, this is Thursday. Getting some of these first try at the very least. This is toku. This is to acquire. This is acquiring. This is cute, kawaii. This is an example of one of those counter words, you know? You have the character for one over here, and then you have this kanji for shelf. So this is isatsu, one book. And this is sunburn. No, it's not sunburn. I got this wrong already. I got it wrong with the wrong word already. This is sunset. This is gray matter. This is type. This one, this is just like, I recognize this because it's a lot of different radicals that just look really scary together. And sigh. But like, I don't know, something about this just, I remember that this is Rui. I think because I was watching an anime at the time where they kept on using the word Jinrui, which is humanity, which uses this kanji. So I think it's things like that. Like when I watch like anime and like certain words that I learn line up with things that I hear constantly throughout the show, it sort of just sticks with you more. This is I forgot what I said this was. Transmission, I think. Transmission. Yeah. Transmission, or it could be to convey. And that is dentatsu. Dentatsu. And this is Yuyake. Sunset. I'll get it right next time. This is pray, I believe. This is Shina. No, it is not. Not sunburn. Not sunburn. No, this is ki. I love these like hints that they have in Wanikani too. They're so cheesy. You pray and pray and pray, nothing happened. You stop praying and dare to open your eyes. There's a key in front of you. Grab the key and hold it before you and pray for the spirit to take it. Like these, sometimes like I don't always read the mnemonics, but like for some of them, they really do end up helping. If you see a spirit with an axe, you better pray for your life. These are very oddly specific. All these mnemonics that they use, but like I don't know. For memorization's purposes, it does like help, and like you do connect the dots in a way that like does have some kind of relation to the word, which I think is fascinating. This is sunburn because this is the character for sun, and this is the characters for bake. So this is Nikoyake. Wait, I spelled it wrong. Nikoyake. No, is it Nichiyake? Oh, it's he. So, it has the same vibe as Hito Fire. Yeah. Yeah. Man Fire. But yeah. So we talked about this one in our kanji lesson too. This simple character, is a character for day, and it can be pronounced in a variety of ways. Sometimes you'll read it as he, sometimes you'll read it as Nichi, sometimes Jitsu, sometimes B. It really tripped me up. I thought it was Nikko, but it is Hiyake. Let's see, this one is Karui, I think? No. Hirui? Shorui. Yeah, this can also be... I'm getting tripped up on, like, the multiple readings. It is very, very tricky. Shorui. And here we have Waka. And that means young. This is sunset. We'll get it right this time. And this is Shorui. And this is pray. Young. And it seems like it's just wrapping us all up with the ones that we just went over. And this is ki. And then we have... What is this? We have... This is a verb because we know that it ends with su, so this one has to be a verb. So this is going to be... Is it to explain? It's like, I think that's the kanji for detail. Let's see. To permit. It's permission. It's to allow, not detail. Sometimes you just get mixed up on those characters. So this is, I believe, is this Hanasu? No, it's not Hanasu. It is Yurusu. You are allowed to do this. Yurusu. Like, I'm definitely going to remember that because I'm just going to think about you're allowed to do this. As long as I remember that this is to explain. Or to give permission, I mean. Sometimes I'll even, like, mess myself up. I'll, like, write the wrong definition, and then I'll internalize it in my brain that, like, that's the correct definition. And that's definitely, like, actually not even just a Japanese, like, a language learning thing. I think, like, when I, like, teach students a new concept, and they get it wrong, there are a lot of times where students will, like, internalize what they did incorrectly first, because it's sort of like, you thought that's what you did, so, like, you thought that that was that familiarity. So it's, like, really important to be able to, like, sort of separate yourself from that, you know? Like, sometimes, like, they'll just, like, get a step in the method wrong, and I'll, like, have to correct them, and we'll talk about it in class, and it'll be something that I'll, like, walk through with them, and then I'll, like, leave them alone for, like, a few minutes. I'll have them do some practice problems, and I'll see the same mistakes again. And I don't think it's necessarily because it's, like, they didn't learn, but, I mean, sometimes it's just, you get something wrong, and you, like, even when you correct it, what you got wrong is sort of, like, what stays in your head first. Thank you for that. I try my best, you know? It's important to be understanding with the students that you're working with. I mean, especially for me, I don't know how, like, it is to work with the Middle Ages. Like, when you work with students that aren't yet in the high school, it's like, these kids are pretty much, like, almost real people. They do understand things, and they do have the capacity to learn. But I think a big thing, and I've talked with other people about this. It's like learning to learn is a skill that really you acquire that like can be acquired. Little kids aren't real people. Look. I feel like I can have more reasonable conversations with high school students than I can with middle schoolers. Middle schoolers scare me. Like the most I could probably handle is like 8th grade, but like before then, I don't know. I feel like I don't have the correct mindset to be able to teach kids of that age group. Figments of imagination. Exactly, exactly. They don't know things, they're just children. They just turn into anime and fight on the playground, and I don't have the energy for that. But it's like, I think learning to learn seems like a really obvious thing. They have feelings. They do have feelings, I do agree. But I am particularly bad at comprehending those feelings. It's just, I've always been bad with, like, little kids. That's just, like, something that I have had issues with. I would have been, like, absolutely put at, like, I would have been, like, I would have struggled a lot if during my student teaching they sent me into, like the elementary school level or, like, the lower middle school levels. Because, I don't know. I feel like I just have, like, a harder time talking to younger kids. But as I was saying, I don't know. I feel like a lot of like people in general will like look at people who like have like a work ethic or like look at like people who just I don't know. A lot of times when I see people who say that like students are like really like certain kids are like really smart in their class. And like I'm not saying that they're not smart, but I'll see a distinction between kids who I know are just good at the subject or like kids who just like are good at learning, if that makes sense, you know? Like, if I think about, say, like me in math class, right? You know, I got math pretty easily, and it wasn't like something I had to get used to. It was just like, you know, numbers made sense to me immediately, so I didn't have to practice or study that. But when it came to like history, or when it came to like English, I guess more so history, like, I didn't really understand what it meant to study at one point. And I think learning things like that, learning proper like ways to learn is a technique I feel a lot of students have missed out on. Or not like missed out on, but like don't realize is very helpful. And I think you learning how to learn, especially like when it comes to like something like this where I've been like teaching myself, like understanding like studying techniques, understanding like how to use the resources around you is definitely something that has helped me a lot. Because I know one thing I hear a lot of people say is like, I'm too old to learn a language, you know? I wish I learned a language when I was a lot younger because it would have made a lot more sense to me now then. But like, I tried learning Japanese when I was in ninth grade. That was a long time ago. And I remembered I was able to memorize the katakana table or the hiragana and katakana tables. Learning how to learn is criminally left. I agree, and it's something that I feel like I and like a lot of my peers have started to reinforce a lot more. Yeah, standardization, like standardized tests, rote memorization. I feel like is a big thing. It's like it really like kids are like, or it feels like kids were expected to like memorize as the most effective strategy to learn things, but like I feel like teaching to understand the material as opposed to teaching to solve a problem. Like it's two different things, you know? It really has. Like if you think about like I don't know, I teach math, so like you teach like the quadratic formula. Sure, you could just go to a kid and then you could say, "Yeah, just remember recite this funny song." And just remember that negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Remember that that's the quadratic formula. You just teach them that, and you teach them that, yeah, it solves for the zeros of a quadratic, but, like, it, what does that mean? What's the point of it? What does it do? And I feel like breaking things down like that, because I don't remember it being broken down like that when I learned it. I just remember being taught it. What is the point of math? You're right. I am right. I only teach it because math is a scam. I only teach it because other people were bad at it, and I wasn't bad at it. So because I was able to take advantage of that, we get what we call job security. But I understood it. I understand, like, the high school level mathematics, and I understand, like, how to break it down in a way that I feel like if you're trying to learn the meaning behind it, that it really it's not it's not hard, I don't think. But I think a lot of like teachers would just gloss over the understanding and just teach the method without explaining exactly what it is that they're learning. And I think when you don't help people learn how to learn, I think is like the biggest problem I have. Yeah, exactly, exactly. That if you learned everything by memorization and you didn't learn why you do things the way they are, it just, yeah, you have to either unlearn or you have to then figure out why is it that we do things the way they do. Why does the quadratic formula work the way it does? Why do we solve for zero? Why do we have to find the vertex? What do these numbers mean? What are these minimum and maximum points? What are these points of inflection? All these different like terms, because math especially builds on itself as you go from like class to class. And I just realized I've not had my music on this whole time. I've had no background music. I just looked at my mixer. Uh-oh, let me adjust that real quick. There we go. Bring back the studying music. Sorry about that. But yeah. Good evening, Jason. I've just been going on a tangent about mathematics right now. And about like learning in general, you know? Learning how to learn. And I guess I want to go back to that point that I brought up back earlier about like when you're I don't think age is the factor for like being able to learn or teach yourself. Because when I was younger, I tried to teach myself Japanese, like I said, and you know, I got a little bit into the grammar part of it. I learned a couple of things, but like one of the reasons why I think my self-teaching has gone so much better than it did when I had just entered high school is because in between that time, I had gone through 5 years of German. I had learned another whole language, and I understood things better. Because when we learn, like, even like when we learn English, you know, I don't think about different forms or cases. I don't think about grammar in the way that they teach it when you learn a language. I never thought about the dative case or the nominative case or the accusative case. I didn't think about conjugation as a word. I didn't even know what conjugation meant until I took German. It's just, when you learn your own language, I feel like it's just, you kind of just speak it already, so a lot of these terms just gloss over you. But then when I learned how to learn language, it then became so much easier for me to apply that to my self-teaching, to sort of pull my brain away from the English language. And I learned how to do that because I had experience learning a language. Yeah, exactly. Like, language absorption is easier in the younger years. Exactly, you need another method. You can absorb by assimilation way earlier when you're younger. Like, despite the fact that I never absorbed my own language, my own family's heritage, when I was younger, I think I was too apathetic towards it, which I feel really bad about now. And I suppose I should probably take the steps to learn. But, I don't know, I think juggling 3 languages would be would be quite a lot. But I think it is something that probably would be a good idea to start studying. But yeah, I think it's just really important to learn how to learn, I guess I should say. Speaking of learning, this word, I think this is a shrine? I know this character here is temple. I think this is Shinto? The verbs in that language are... Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Wisteria had tried to learn the language a bit as well because being in family gatherings, you hear a lot of that language, and you know, being someone who likes to hear a lot of the gossip in the other language, she tried studying it so she could hear all the juicy gossip from all the moms talking amongst themselves, all the interfamily drama. All right, this is Shinto temple. Let's see. Let's get back to it. This is Zen temple, Zen temple, Zen temple. Just off by a little bit. This is Tachi. It's the pluralization suffix. It's always funny when you start writing in English and then you start seeing it get turned to katakana. Oh, I'm curious about a crush you have on someone and you wonder if you should even feel this feeling. What was my family's language? It's Tagalog. It is Tagalog. Alright, so this is a short fortune reading. So this is just going to be in the short term. This is how you're feeling right now. Sort of an in-the-moment kind of reading. So let me shuffle the deck around. Yes, Tagalog. Some will say that they are the strongest race. But let's shuffle this deck around, and let's see what we get. Let's see what the cards lie in wait for Jason. I'm gonna shuffle this around quite a bit, you know, just to shuffle the cards around, just to give them a little bit of motion. They haven't gotten to move around in quite a bit. So let's close this out. Let me hide this for now. See where my source is. Chrome. If it's the Three of Swords. If there's a lot of sword cards where that could be a little bit too dramatic. Okay, that's interesting. Let's pull up our image. And your card today. Your fortune. Again, this is a short reading, so it's just like an immediate moment kind of thing. How you interpret it could be up to you, but I am here to just explain what the card represents. And that card is... Man, this is going to look really dramatic when I do this, actually. So for your short one-card reading, Jason, the card that we have here today is Death. So, again, this is a very known card in the tarot deck. You know, I don't think it needs too much explanation. So what it is, what the Death card represents, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. It's not a negative card, necessarily. The Death card represents a major change. It represents that... Not necessarily, like... Yandere. What it is that maybe in this immediate moment, there's something that you're gonna realize about these feelings that you have. And I think there's something deep down that you need to think about. Something that maybe what you feel about this person, what you're thinking about this person, whatever conclusion you come to, I think might be different than what you thought before. It's... because Death represents obviously not dying. It doesn't represent anything inherently negative, but rather a change. It represents a major shift in how things are. So that's just something to keep in mind, you know? Just think about the situation, think about how you feel, and maybe you'll realize, or maybe something will come to mind that you hadn't thought about before. Maybe there's going to be a possibility that you hadn't considered. Maybe that there is something will change in the way you're thinking. I can't say for sure, but that's what Death represents. Death represents just a massive shift. What that shift is, who knows? And that is your one-card reading. So, back to the lesson, or back to the studies. Let us reopen this. God, that is just such a dramatic card to drop. So, next words that we have here. This is not a Shinto temple, but a Zen temple. I'm glad it helped. I'm glad that the reading could provide you with some insight, something to think about, you know? The way I always see it, the way I see fortune readings, if you think about it, whatever you see has a 50-50 chance of happening. It either does happen, or it doesn't happen. And the way I see it is that the cards just serve as a warning, you know? It serves as a possible outcome. I've had people come to me before, like, after I do their reading, and they'll be like, "Wow, I can't believe it, sir, your reading came true. What you said is lining up, like, perfectly." And I'll be like, well, it's good to know that I helped you think about your circumstances in such a way that it lines up with what I predicted, but I feel like, again, your future is up to what you do. You are the one who carves out your own future. And I think understanding a possible line forward is helpful. But sometimes you go along with what fate has in store. Sometimes you go against what it does have in store. That's how I see it. And yeah, sometimes like during the end of the school year, during the last few weeks or last few days, I'll bring in my tarot deck and like a lot of students will want to get their fortune read. And it's always like fun to like see how they react to this whole thing. Exactly. Have I ever read my future to understand myself better? Yes, I have. You know? And when I first started, I just read my own fortunes just because, just to get an idea of how to read the cards and how to understand them. I don't read my cards too often. There was a point in time where I was like doing nightly readings, but I don't know, sometimes it feels like a little much to sort of like structure your life around regular daily readings. I might do like weekly readings for myself though, just to like, keep myself in the readings. But it's something I just do every once in a while. And yeah, that's what I agree with Jason, that they're a good way to just stop and think about the problems. How do you get better at interpreting the cards? I think it's just doing reading and research on the cards, and just understanding, like, I think at first you want to get an idea of what each of the cards mean individually, And there was a book that I studied back when I was in high school, back when I was like actively reading, and then I sort of got those meanings down. For me personally, another thing is that a lot of tarot books will explain the cards with a bunch of different singular word explanations. And while I don't think that that's bad, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a very good, handy, like, quick reference. I think it helps me a lot more when I read the card and like read the interpretation of what they mean as a sort of story, as opposed to just a bunch of single word explanations. I think understanding the meaning of the card that way helps a lot more with connecting to other cards. And then once you understand the meaning of each of the individual cards, you can sort of use that to build upon how they relate to each other, Seeing how, like, swords as an element usually represents like conflict or engagement. Things like how cups usually represent more spiritual energies, or emotional energies, sorry, not spiritual. How pentacles are typically revolving around monetary issues. How wands usually represent the spiritual or like the grounded. There's a lot of symbology that goes even beyond just the individual meanings, but rather how the suits connect as a whole, how certain major arcana can connect. It's all just a bunch of different ideas that sort of weave together. And the more you practice, the more you read, it's just something that you just get used to, and something that is just something you learn. And I don't know, I think I spent like a good part of like a year and a half just doing fortunes for that. Yeah, it's just practice, And I spent a lot of time practicing. I first practiced a lot doing 3-card and 6-card spreads. I did the past, present, future, and then I turned that 3-card spread into a 6-card spread by crossing over each of those 3 cards with like an influence. So I built upon the kind of spreads that I could read, and then eventually I got to doing the Celtic Cross, which the Celtic Cross is that 10-card spread that I do, where it sort of tells a whole story from the far back past to the future, up into a clearer outcome than, say, the past, present, future spread reads. And so it's just practice, just like with everything else, And I guess the hardest part of that is having people to practice with, Having people whose fortune can be read. But it is always fun, I think, to be able to read other people's fortunes. But yeah, you can do again, you just have to practice, And even if you need to use a book, even if you need to refer to like websites like Biddy Tarot in order to get meaning of the cards, a lot of it too, you don't have to feel specifically restricted by the definition, because the cards do mean something, but it's up to you to apply an interpretation to their position in your spread, you know? You think about a card that has to represent with loss, a card that represents... I'm calling you out like that because it's what I use too. Sometimes when I like want to get... Like, if I'm unsure about a meaning of a card, I'll use that website to sort of either reinforce or tell me if I'm on the wrong path here. Usually I'm on the right path, but there are some times where, like, my interpretation is a very, like, small part of the overall explanation of the card. But with practice, you'll get used to it. You'll get used to applying a interpretation to what you're reading. And I think that's really how it comes, where it comes from. And even if you just had to do like 1 card or 3 card spreads for yourself for a while, I think you'll start to pick up on that. And really, I would highly recommend, like, even like using Biddy Tarot to get an idea of the cards. Really helps a lot. It helped me a lot when I was getting back into this, because, you know, it'd been a while since I had like actively read. But it really does help to have some kind of a guide that can sort of back you up on what you're doing. This one is acquire, and this one is the type, and this is heisei, and this is sunburn. You know, we're gonna speedrun this to allow. Issues that with tarot, you need to just assume things. Yeah, I get that too, you know, because you don't want to just like say things like, especially if you don't fully know a person. Or even if you do know a person, you don't want to just assume things, right? Like, if someone you know is asking for, like, God, like, if they ask you for love advice, that's, like, the most stressful thing. Like, how do you present your reading in a way that, like, doesn't seem like you assuming what their love life is like? It is hard. It is hard. And it's something that, like, you have to be very safe, I think, in your words and how you balance them. What is this? What is this? What is this? This isn't bake, this is smoke. This smoke. Yeah, that's how I feel too. I get that a lot. I understand completely. So now, let us get this one. This is yaku, the verb of bake. And this is this everyone? No, this is descendant. No, I was wrong. Mix, this is mix. It's descendant when it doesn't have these 3 marks on the left side of it. And this is steam train. We'll get back into some of this. You don't want to leave it cold. We got under 200 words at the very least. Or you can't... Oh, God. Yeah, or you can influence their love life. It may or may... I mean, if you ask someone for a love fortune, and you tell them a potential way things can play out, even if I'm not intending to push them in a specific direction, I feel like just hearing it from someone else with the cards will just have you, like, it'll put you into action, or I like worry that it puts people into action because of, like, what I said. But I mean, if they're asking me to do a reading, I mean, who am I to say no? This is police box? Is this police box or police station? No. No, it's just a policeman. I knew that this had to do with cops. Because this is to warn, and that's government. The government warns you, that is a cop. This is heisei. I believe that's an era, so we could just write heisei? No. This is quiet? No. Ori read you on stream and it influenced your love life with a 3. Yeah, you know? Even when when you get a negative reading, something that seems very, negative like that, there's a lot of different factors that you could probably trace backwards, you know? It doesn't necessarily have to just be that... What am I trying to say? It was something recent, you know? And I think that's a lot of what, reading the tarot is, too. When you think about the far past, or, even the recent past, things can just break down, you know? You could probably pinpoint most cards to something that happened in your life. And I think that's why some people sort of call it, hokey or fake, because if you're being vague enough, you can apply any meaning to anything. But it's like you said earlier, I think it's about opening your eyes to possibilities. I think it's thinking about, what could be. Or, opening your mind to, things that you probably haven't necessarily thought about. And this is serene. And this is stop And that is certain stop. Stop certainly. This is say. I don't remember what the second one is. It's not to. It's not to. It is seikaku. Seikaku. Correct. Oh, this is correct, not stop. Correct certain. That's certainly then, right? Accurate. Accurate. Seikaku. And this is detailed. This is details. So as an adjective, detailed. I forget what this reads as. But I know that since it ends with she, that means it is a adjective. And this is to bake. And this is hiyake, or sunburn. And this is kon. Yeah, kon. It's mix. And this is zenji. And then this is omamori. This is an amulet. This is fukaki. This is rough draft. We got it. I still got that touch. And then this is shi. That's history. This is muryo. This is muryo means this is no, and this is ingredient. Muryo means what is this? Muryo. And this is I hate that I'm blanking here. I feel like I should know this one. No ingredients. I'm just throwing something at the wall here. Free, it's free. That makes sense. And this is I don't even remember what this is. Kashi. I don't know what this is. This is kuwashi. Not frustrated, which is kuyashi, but kuwashi. And this is seikaku. Accurate. This is kekkan. Is it ketsukan? Keikan. This is kei, not ketsu. That was just me not remembering properly. And this is to pray, but we had to figure out what the verb conjugation of this is. Shiru? No, it's not shiru. It is inoru. Which I usually remember to myself because I know inochi is life. So inoru, like, they're very close together in character. Praying and life, like, remind me of one another. And this is free. This is cop. This is mix. And we're just speedrunning through these now. This is way of writing, because it's writing and method, so way of writing. This is accurate. This is fukaki. Kaki. I don't think it's actually this. Nah, I'm off. This is shitakaki. Because this can either be read as fu. Oh, wait, no. Fu is when it has two lines coming out of that bottom line. Sometimes kanji just look similar to one another. Sometimes you just mix up two similar looking kanji. This is just below. And this is history. This is amulet. This is shita. Shita is under, and then gaki. And this is to pray. This is kuwashi. This is keikan. This is continuation. I think this is ren. No, it's not ren. It is zoku. This is the other continuation word. Because continue, and then ren is repeated. So repeated continuation. Renzoku. That's another way I remember certain kanji, is that I know what compound words they're in, but I got the wrong kanji. So this is zoku. This is kakikata. This is hand luggage. I believe tenimotsu. hand luggage. This is tenimotsu. I accidentally typed a second U. I hate when I fail because of that. This one is a big kanji that I'm forgetting what it is, but I feel like it's something simple. We have that flag, and then we have the leader, and then we have summer underneath. This is... I don't remember. This is boots. It's boots. And this is side. This is smoke. Kusuri. No, it's not kusuri. Kemuri. It ends with the ri. I had one of the characters correct, but not all of them. This is continuation. No. Continue. Ah, off by the wrong part of speech. This is ya. This is he. Compare. This is bake. This is smoke. Kemuri. And this is tenimotsu. And this is continue. We spelled it wrong. I like how when you spell it wrong in English, they give you a little leeway. But if you are almost right in Japanese, they do not give you any leeway, which I guess makes sense. You're learning Japanese primarily. But sometimes I'll typo the wrong letter. Sometimes I'll hit I instead of U. Because U, I, and O are all on the same letter, are all next to each other on the keyboard. But sometimes I'll type the wrong character, and I'll be really upset because I just typoed and then hit enter too fast. And then now Wanikani's gonna fail me. This is hurry. This is compare. And this is gawa. This is Jin. This is humanity. No. I don't remember what this character is. Jin? I know humanity would be Jin Rui, and I know that this and Rui both have similar meanings. But this is race. What is this read as? Shu. Jinshu. 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 Alright, we'll get it next time. This is Inoru. This is smoke. And this is Jinshu. This is a tricky one. This is... I know that this is credentials. I know that the English translation for this is credentials, but I don't know exactly how I would say this in Japanese. Se me sho. This is completely wrong. Sho me sho. It wasn't actually completely wrong. I had the first kanji wrong. Meisho was correct, but it's sho meisho. Ah, and this is Kiyobi or Kayobi. I almost got that one wrong too. I almost got one of the days of the week wrong. That would have been embarrassing. That's Tuesday. Tuesday in it. And then this is still. This is Kyuni. Seno. And this is Shomeisho. This is she. Is it she? Say. No, it's say. I know that the quiet is say, and kanji, the reading for stop is... It's say... To? No. Say she. Say she, say she. It always hurts when you know half of it, but not the full thing. This is hurry, I believe? Hurry or instant, maybe? Immediately. That one always gets me off. I think because I always think it's instant, and I just have that burnt into my mind, like I said before. You just get it wrong so many times, and you get it wrong with the same word, so you just accidentally turn that into the meaning in your head, and you have to unlearn it. And unlearning things is very hard. This is Tuesday. This is ko. This is high, and then that second one is... I think that's sum. High sum? Cost? No. High class. Oh, this is class. Or equal is what it is. High equals, high class? I guess that makes sense. This is credentials. Credential. Hurry. No, no, no. Abruptly. There we go. I'm not gonna get that wrong a third time in the row. And we're still somehow at a 72%, which I think is pretty impressive. This is... I think this is to give birth. This is umu. I don't know why giving birth is a vocab word. They decided to give me not particularly far into these lessons. I think I'm about maybe a third of the way through the chapters of Wanikani, through the lessons in Wanikani. I don't know why giving birth is like... They thought that this was an important word to teach. Umu. And this is pray. I think this is convent. This, like, a monastery, that's what it is. I think this is a place of prayer. This is Kinen. No, I think this is just prayer, actually. This is just prayer. Kinen. This is Seishi. This is to give birth. And then this is busy, Isogashi. Actually, it wouldn't be read like that. I think it's just read as bull when it's not written as an adjective. So this is bull, and we got that right. You know, I've retained more than I thought I did, and I think that's a good thing. Ame. Candy. This is candy sculpture. This is a very specific word. Again, I don't know. I guess because they know that I know, they know that if you're this far, you know each of these 3 individual kanji. But I think it's really funny when the program throws these, like, really specific words that, like, I'm never going to use this word, ever. I cannot fathom a single incident where I will have to say, Ame, Cole. I don't remember what the middle character is. Ame. This is wide. It's not Hiru. Hiruko. No, it's not correct. Let's see what it is. Amezaiku. Oh, and this is ku, not ko. Amezaiku. I will never need to talk about creating a candy sculpture or a sugar sculpture. It's just... I mean... Unless cotton candy counts, that might be the only case where I would say amezaifu. If cotton candy counted as a sugar sculpture. But I don't think it does. This is kanashi. Another word that you hear a lot. This is sadness. And this is common sense, I believe. No, it's not common sense. It is awareness, ishiki. Sometimes I know, like, the Japanese reading, but not the English reading, and vice versa, and that just hurts. Because it still counts as getting it fully wrong. No partial credit here. No partial credit whatsoever. This is kokaku. Hokaku. Hokoku. Hokoku. That is announcement. This is report. Report. Hokoku. And this is amezaiku. And this is shelf. No. It's not bookshelf? Oh, it's the book counter. I could have sworn that this is used for... Oh! This character here, this radical, Wanikani calls the bookshelf. But the actual meaning, which is something that, like, trips me up with Wanikani sometimes, they'll have a radical so that you remember the shape of the character, but the actual meaning is something completely different. It still has to do with books, but it's not a bookshelf. And this is satsu. Book counter. And then we have here, this is report. And then this is boots. You won't trip me up again. And this is race, like a human race. And then this is... I think this has to do with, like, necks or kneeling. Kokoku? Or koku? No, this is a verb because it ends with ku. Tataku, to strike. Oh, you know, like tatakai is a battle. Tataku is to strike. And we see to strike, to beat, to hit, to knock. Tataku. And this is koto. Koto, high class. Sugar sculpture. And this is ri. This is sadness. No. What? That wasn't sadness? What? What? This is the counter for paper. Again, another one of those pesky counter words. Flat object counter. As a VTuber, in the VTubing community. There's probably a very, very, very low-hanging fruit to go along with this, but I'm not gonna bite. It's Kanashi, which is sad. Oh, sad and sadness are two different things. You wouldn't say the sadness VTuber. You would say the sad VTuber, as in, I'm sad that I got that wrong. Sad is the adjective, not sadness. This is Kosetsu? No. Is it Shosetsu? It is Shosetsu. Little theory? What does that mean? Novel. A Shosetsu. A small theory is a novel. This is my prayer. I think this is just prayer. Prayer, the action of praying. And this is Hokoku? No. I got this wrong again. Is it Hokoku? Hokoku. I'll keep on getting that one wrong, probably. This is to hit. This is wash. We're at 55. Let's go for 10 more. I think 65 words to bust through is pretty good. This is Rei. I know the verb for this. It's sen. It's sen. Ah. Shosetsu. This is to. Koto. Koto is high class. This is zazen. Zaseki. This is seat. I'm pretty sure they both mean seat, so it's like double sit. This is ume. Is it umeshu? No, it's not umeshu. I know it has to do with plum wine though. Umeboshi, which is pickled plums. Pickled plums, not plum wine. This is seating. So this is seat. This is bad details from what I can tell. That symbol here is the one I mixed up earlier. This is bad. And this is details. So I know it's not bad details. I know it's something that like would make sense. Undefined. Math word coming out. Unidentified. Unknown. That makes more sense. And that is Fusho. And this is Tataku. This is pickled plums. This is unknown. And this is umeboshi. Speed running through the rest of these. This is sen. This is right. It's just a really basic word at us there. Just throwing the right radical there. That was like from so long ago. This is Fusho. This is Ishiki. This is novel. This is awareness. This is Hokoku. Hey, we managed to get through. Ouch. So it did say that we had a 73%, but in reality, maybe this is a good stopping point for now. 37%. You know? At least for the Japanese study. We got through quite a bit. We got through... What is that? 47, 17, 1... We got through 65 characters, so we cut through about a quarter of what we have to work on. I think that's a pretty good stopping point. So, does anybody have any last-minute fortunes they'd like to be read? You know, I'm fine to just talk for a little bit, but, you know, if anyone wants to get a fortune read, I'd be more than happy to do that. You know, it is really hard. It's so weird how Wanekane sort of like gasses you up by giving you that percentage at the top. It was saying like I had like a 71% accuracy rating, but then I actually look at once we're done studying, once we're done actually working on it, once we hit end session, and it jumps that 71 down to a whopping 37%. You know, that just feels. I guess it's better to tell you that real percentage once you're done rather than while you're working on it. You know, I feel like that would kill your confidence while you're working on it to be like, oh wow, I have a 33%, that's awful. But when you see it as a in the 70s, it's not too bad, you know? It, it I didn't feel so bad, you know, I wasn't in the 60s, and even so, even in the 60s I wouldn't feel too weird about that, but you know, it stings a little bit. But it's okay, you know? It's all about being okay with messing up and being okay to fail. And I think that's another hard thing to get used to, you know? Getting used to failure and getting used to not succeeding, you know? But it's fine, you know? It's not like you die, it's not like you're ruined if you don't succeed. I guess for some people that is the case, but as long as it's not something serious, you know? You just I feel like it's better to at least try instead of just not trying at all, you know? It's better to just, you know, give it your best shot, and then if it doesn't work out, you just try again. What's there to lose? Nowhere to go from up, right? And I guess, you know, teaching students too, I wonder, like, that, like, when they, like, start failing and they just don't do their work, there's, like, so many things that go into the minds of students that it's hard to tell, like, I think this year especially, something I've learned about, like, other teachers too. I've talked about this before, where, like, a lot of teachers, like, at the start of the year, and I think even now, we're just really harsh on these kids who are just, like, sitting in front of a computer screen for, what, from 8:20 to 2:30, or 1:30, spending, like, 5 hours a day, just, like, back-to-back-to-back classes. You have, like, 5 minutes of break time in between classes, unless your teacher is nice enough to let you out of class early, which, I mean, I usually do, but I don't know. I know some teachers, like, even in online classes, want to hold kids hostage until class ends, and it's just like, why? If you've taught all that you need to know, if you've taught them all the work they need to do, then why hold them hostage? And I feel like part of that is, like, the reason why, especially compared to last year, you see a lot of kids that just don't end up doing the work. Because you always have, like, students that don't do the work. You know who they are, but, like, this year it's been, like, so much worse with students just falling behind. And I wonder if it's because, like, you know, you're in front of that computer. It's not even like being in school where you can, like, interact and talk to people and move around and everything, but you're just stuck going from Zoom call to Zoom call for 5 hours. And then you've done that for 5 hours, and it's like, why would I do my work? At least in, like, school, you can, like, be with your friends and stuff, but, like, here, it's just, you just got through 5 hours of just straight work back to back to back. No break, no real break, really. And it's just, you know, where's the motivation after that? What are you gonna do? I don't know. I think some kids, maybe that's their way of just dealing with it, you know? And I worry that, like, I say failure's okay, but, like, doing badly is fine. Like, a lot of kids are, like, worried about, like, failing tests, but, like, the way most school systems work, you can usually get by if you fail a test, but then, like, you know, you do all your work, and you do all your projects, and it's like, I feel like part of it's just actually doing the work is all you need to do to pass. Even if you don't do the work well, you just have to do the work. And I sometimes wonder, like, if just, like, a fear of, like, overwhelming, like, work ahead of you is, like, what stops these kids from doing anything, you know? So, I think that was a pretty good study session today, and it was a pretty good conversation with you all. Got to do a reading, and got to talk with you guys a lot about teaching. And I think that's it. I hope that you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys all on Saturday for some horror games. We're going to play an actual horror game, we're not going to play a demo, but me and Wisteria will see you guys then. Have a great rest of your day, everybody, and as always, class is dismissed.